But thanks again to the previous panel. It is a fascinating discussion. But we're going to shift gears a little bit here now, and our next keynote is going to allow us to look at the consumer journey to make purchases in the e-commerce space. We know as an industry the ever expanding opportunities in e-commerce. It is considerable. It is never ending. It is fascinating to think about what's going to be the next big thing in e-commerce. So I'm really honored to introduce Bill Watkins, who is the U.S. Head of Partnerships for Pinterest. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a Pinterest person, but you've got like a cult following. Like I have, I'm sure all of you know people who are forever on Pinterest. So I promise I will be. But yeah, I'm at a party or meeting, and someone said, "Oh, I was on Pinterest and I found X, Y, Z." So it is a community that really has just proven to be an invaluable resource. But in order to really stand out today, brands are striving to offer utility at a unique level. And in an era of one-tap checkout and same-day delivery, right? We're impatient. We want it yesterday. How can marketers really inspire consumers and bring that magic back to online shopping, which really it is. It's absolutely magical. You can tell. I'm just thinking about it. Um, Bill works closely with Pinterest retail, finance, tech, and travel industry sales team to help them solve the unique business challenges. So please, I'm really excited. Help me in welcoming Bill to the stage to share with us a little bit about what retailers have to do to provide authentic ways to take a consumer through their purchase journey while empowering us as consumers to discover new products and take action. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome um, Bill Watkins.
Stroll in front versus stand at the podium, if that's okay. But my name is Bill Watkins. I'm our U.S. Head of Partnerships, and I'm going to talk to you guys about inspired shopping today. This is something that we think about at Pinterest literally every single day. When we think about the consumer behavior of our users, we call them pinners, they are shopping on our platform. They're coming to be inspired, but they are saving things into collections, oftentimes products. And these are things that they're going to buy. And when we specifically call it inspired shopping, because we believe there's an underserved need, there's a problem statement online today. And we would say that if you know exactly what it is that you want to buy in your shopping experience, like e-com and digital does an incredible job of facilitating that for you. If you do not know what you want, if you were looking for a window shopping experience, the ability to discover multiple possibilities, the opportunity to help shape your tastes and preferences, digital does not do that well. And this is the problem statement that we are aiming to solve. And this is why we are undertaking this inspired shopping opportunity. If I think about how we got here decades ago, clearly merchants want to drive the transaction. They're focused on same-store sales growth. They're focused on average order value. But it was the experiences that they would curate to bring these products and services to life, to evoke this emotion. And you could see how these products could be woven into the fabric of your life. They could drive to the transaction. But we would say that over the past 2 decades in particular, with the rise of search, as well as with the rise of big data, digital broadly has over-engineered a myopic experience, rushing straight to the transaction. That it's less of a window shopping, inspired shopping experience, a browsable experience. That's actually pretty cumbersome. Rather, we've over-engineered for one user against one target, against one product to buy one purchase, and you're in and you're out. Perhaps we've conflated these two things, but at minimum, we see that the transaction clearly has traded off on a true experience. And should we focus on that experience, we feel like all boats in the harbor can rise. It's a better user experience, but we can drive more sales as well. So thus, again, like just coming back to the problem statement that inspired shopping and that we are aiming to solve at Pinterest, if you know exactly what you want, we feel like digital helps you to do that. If you want to browse and to shop and to be inspired, it doesn't. We would argue that we can do better. Customers would as well, though. In a study from eMarketer earlier this year, eMarketer went out and they met with many different retail brands as well as many different customers. And only 25% of the time did retailers say that they thought that the experiences they were creating for their customers were exceptional, be it online or offline. As well, the customers that they went and surveyed, they only agreed 18% of the time. Like, I would submit that the bar is set way too low, number one. But number two, just that delta, that disconnect between the retailers themselves and their customers, like we could and should be doing a lot better. So if this is like how we got to where we are today and why we are focused at Pinterest on inspired shopping, I think it begs the question, like, can I articulate that a little bit better? Like, what specifically am I talking about? And what we see in our user behavior every single day is that gone is this linear vertical purchase funnel. This is a meandering, like wandering journey. But what we believe is for brands specifically to show up in context with an authentic voice, be it on a platform like Pinterest or just anywhere in the web, how can we create these serendipitous and ubiquitous moments of true shopping? And I'll say shopping, not a buyable moment. And I think we need to decouple these two things. There are buyable instances, but the ability for someone to shop and discover something that perhaps they're ready to buy now, or perhaps they're going to be ready to buy in the future. This is really, I think, at its essence, what inspired shopping to us is all about. And you might be asking, well, why are we suited to do this at Pinterest? Why are we suited to solve this problem? Like, at our core, like, our mission as a company is to inspire everyone to create the life they love. And this is equal parts, like, we want to inspire our users, but we also want them to get off their phone and go create these things in their lives. And it's a bold mission, and even more boldly, you've heard our CEO talk on our earnings call about we aim to build the world's inspiration company. Like, we don't take this lightly. We are definitely shooting for the moon with this mission. But again, we feel like we have the right to do it. It's what our users are doing, and there's a defined need in market today. So I'll then transition into just talking about who we are at Pinterest and what our shopping strategy is. But before I do that, just want to play a quick video to show you how some of our pinners are getting inspired. We might not have audio. That's okay. We can roll with it. This has some really good music going on in the background, but this is just a sample overview of some of our pinners here and just some various use cases that they're doing. I'll get into more specifics, but I think the point is our users are doing things across a wide array, be it for themselves, be it for their families, be it with their friends. But it's just it's a place to come and get inspired. And that's really the point of this video. So as we aim to inspire all of our users, I think the tailwind that we have is that we've been growing. So over the past year, we've seen roughly about 30% year-on-year growth, both in the users that we have on the platform, as well as the content that we have. So we now have more than 300 million users globally on the service, and we have over 200 billion pieces of content. These are pins organized into 4 billion boards, meaning like before our algorithm like takes place insofar as how we service content to our users, this is human curation at scale. Our users have gone out into the web, mobile web, desktop web, and really have curated what they believe to be the best of the web. And they've organized it into the fabric of their lives by way of denoting these collections or these boards on their profile. So there's a lot of insight that we can glean from this. We'll then also get the question often, what is the user behavior on Pinterest? Again, like, why do you have the right to really, plant the flag and own this space around inspired shopping? And it's because we believe we occupy a very unique space digitally today. So often, folks will ask, are we a social platform? Are we a search platform? In contrast to social, when I think about the user behavior of social, and oftentimes what we're doing, like, we're literally projecting out into the world, and sometimes, most times, we want to elicit a reaction by way of that post. That is not what Pinterest is about at all. While everything you do is public, when we talk to our users, they describe it as this very personal experience. That Pinterest is this positive corner of the internet. Like, I'm not being barraged by what's going on in the news or entertainment or what my friends are doing. This is all about me, and I'm collecting things that are of interest to me on a daily basis, like in curating this profile of my own tastes and my own interests. So we would say we're different than social. And relative to traditional search, I would just submit that search is evolving. If search historically, traditional search is very objective and has grown to become a 5 to 8 word query string. I'm submitting something into an engine, and I expect in an instant the exact right answer, like this unequivocal answer, this is the right answer, that is not the behavior on Pinterest. People are coming to our service to discover possibilities. We do have text search on Pinterest. We actually have over 2 billion text queries every single month. But interestingly, the majority of them are 1 or 2 words, and 97% of our search volume is unbranded. This is a stark contrast from other digital search engines, meaning like our users are coming wanting us to help shape, inform their taste and preferences and show them these possibilities. So again, we would submit we're more personal than social, we're more discovery than search, but we occupy this unique space that allows us to really build this inspired shopping platform. Insofar as what are the goods that people are actually shopping for on Pinterest, it's across a wide range of categories and use cases. Our top categories are food, beauty, home, fashion, travel, but our users have millions of interests going on concurrently. When I think about like just primary use cases, I'd say that there are really 3. Folks are coming to the service and using it as a daily utility. You know, what am I going to cook for my family for dinner tonight? What am I going to wear this week or next week? Like short-term daily utility functions. They're also coming around like big life moments, like planning to get married. I'm having my wedding. I'm having my first child. I'm buying my first home. I'm remodeling my home. But these big life moments is a second area. And the third area, we see a lot of folks coming to Pinterest to plan around seasonal moments. You know, in our family, we've been very busy with back to school and how we're planning around getting ready for that for our children, or planning for Halloween, holiday, etc. But again, like people are shopping across a wide variety of categories and use cases on the service. And I stated this earlier, but while we aim to inspire, like we want to inspire everyone to create the life they love. And taking action on those points of inspiration is very important to us. You'll hear some competing digital services talk about how they optimize for time spent as an engagement metric. We're not focused on that. We're focused on time well spent. And by design, this is a bit of a hard thing to quantify. This is a hard metric. But we believe like it is just the right thing to do in service of our users. If we're going to ask you to spend time on our service and we're going to inspire you to collect things that are meaningful in your life, you know, this could be around like literally what I'm going to cook tonight for my family, or this dream home that my wife and I are going to build for our family one day. Like the ability to go out and create and take action on that is equally as important. And this is something that we think about every day. Which then leads me to just our last topic here. The inspiration oftentimes is leading to the purchase. So it begs the question, what is our inspired shopping strategy at Pinterest? If we know we want it to be this just ubiquitous experience whereby at any point in time on our service or by using our tools on the web to pin into Pinterest to really have our users engage in this inspired shopping experience, what does it mean? And there's 3 core tenets here to our strategy: visual discovery, taste-based personalization, and shoppable products. Visual discovery, this is the tech that we are engineering to really fuel this nouveau type of search, like this discovery-based visual search. Taste-based personalization is how we're servicing the content. Every time you open up the app, it should feel like a hand-curated experience just for you. And then lastly, shoppable experience. What's the infrastructure that allows this to take place? So I'll start with visual discovery. I think one, just an inherent advantage we have, like as humans, we are visual. Our brains literally process images faster than we do text. Therefore, the ability for you to process and understand the image or an image on the left side of the screen here, individually what it is, or its relation and context to others around it, relative to the text, that's just a fact that exists. In us as a visual first service, we feel like we have an inherent advantage here, specifically, you know, as the future of search is a keywordless search environment and voice and visual pick up. But the visual like medium specifically on Pinterest is the pin. Like at the atomic level, who we are the pin. And we get a lot of signal from every pin. And this is important because the signals that we get here like tell us the type of technology that we should build. And there's a lot of data behind every single pin. First and foremost, just how our pinners are engaging with the pin itself. Like what are they saving? Where are they closing up on the pin? Like what is drawing their attention to the pin, etc. we get a ton of engagement data on every single one of our 200 billion pins on the service. Contextual signals and metadata, we've invested heavily in computer vision, such that the image recognition data that we get back and kind of program in and pipe into every single pin, as well as just our algorithms for how we serve, is very important. On the board relationship side, this is where things get very nuanced and interesting. So this pin here, candy striped dress and a black purse, might be saved into someone's summer fashion 2019 board, but this exact same pin might be saved into someone else's board that is all around black handbags that I want to buy. So understanding the relationship on an exact pin in different collections, and then the subsequent pins involved in those collections, is very interesting. But we can literally draw a mathematical distance between those relationships. And then lastly, all of this goes into like how we categorize every pin. And this can be at a very high level, interest level, what we would call an L1, like fashion, all the way to an L10, a very granular interest level that would be very, very much more granular and specific. But we get a lot of data from our pins, and it helps us understand the type of tech that we're going to create. So let me back this up really quickly. I'm going to show you two pieces of tech that we've released in the last year. The first is Flashlight. So what is Flashlight? Think of Flashlight as visual searching within a pin. So you have to be on Pinterest, but you're consuming our pin content to use Flashlight. And I know that this is a scenescape here, and oftentimes we hear from our users, like, for myself personally, I don't know if I could articulate to all 50 of you like what my exact taste is in home decor, but I know it when I see it. And we aim to engineer our products in this manner. So we know that what I see in this scene is a rug, 2 chairs, a table, etc. What Flashlight enables you to do, when I think about inspired shopping, like remove friction, like be able to interact with the pin to like telescope in and out across various products that I might be interested in buying today or in the future. And that's what Flashlight does. So we're prompting you in the bottom right to engage with the pin itself. Sorry. I'm going to get it. Come on. Oh, we're going to try one more time, and then we'll move on to Lens. Okay, there we go. So our computer vision is identifying the images in this scene, and when I just simply tap on this chair, you'll see the result sets change. When I tap on the stool, you'll see the result sets change. And this, in addition to that, you'll see the actual tiles under where you see visual search. Those will change as well. Like, meaning we need to remove friction and make it easier to just have this shopping experience on Pinterest, this window shopping, this discoverable shopping experience. And we don't see this anywhere else online today. And I think this is very much a product that has gotten a lot of use in the last year. And interestingly, relative to other search engines, if you subscribe to what you just saw there, similar to or akin to a text query, we're a third the size of other large competing search platforms insofar as monetizable impressions. Like the inventory here in one pin to the related inventory in the visual search queues is very large, and it's growing very fast on the service. But this is one example of tech. Another example of tech that we've invested in is Lens. Let's see if this builds out here. Okay, cool. So what is Lens? If Flashlight is in Pinterest, on Pinterest, Lens is using your camera within our app in the real world. So you could see a piece of furniture at a friend's house that you think is pretty cool, or you could be sitting next to somebody on the train and you like their shoes. Point is, you take out Pinterest, you take a picture of something that is interesting to you, that you're interested in, that might inspire you, or you might be interested in buying. And what we're going to do using our computer vision and image recognition technology is return like thousands of exact or similarly related products to the image that you just took the picture of. I would say this is more of a burgeoning technology, but we certainly subscribe to the future of search is a keywordless search environment. If there are some incumbents around voice, we believe we are the incumbent on visual, and it's because of these types of investments that we've made early on and have continued to make. And again, these are just 2 examples of many around visual discovery. The next is taste-based personalization. So I had said earlier that we have over 200 billion pins that are organized into 4 billion boards. So we get a lot of data really on, I would say, 2 different vectors. One vector is going to be between the pin and the board itself. All the metadata of the pin that we have, as well as its relationship insofar as how it's categorized into boards. Second vector would be the users that are consuming this content. And the marriage of these two things produces what we call the taste graph. And what the taste graph is the engine, if you will, around how it's our algorithm for how we serve content. Again, it gets to train off of this human curation at scale, which is great. But then you take in all these signals as well as the user behavior and patterns, and this is how we program the content. So, we threw in a couple of things about me. If you were to go to my profile, you'd see that we've been pinning a lot about home decor, and I personally pin a lot about fashion. Literally every piece of furniture on our first floor, we've actually pinned on Pinterest. And in some cases, we've bought through Pinterest years ago. We've since retired that function for a while. But I also am a big men's fashion pinner. But this is just like how this is coming to life in my own life and how it's meaningful to me. And then lastly, shoppable products. So again, just to reset, like the tech that we build and how we service content really should drive the right experience. But to do that, and I mentioned earlier, I might not be able to articulate my specific taste, in this case in home decor, but I know it when I see it. To be able to facilitate the best inspired shopping experience, we need the infrastructure from which to service the right content, the right products that individuals can shop on the service. So we've also spent the last, I'd say, 18 months working very closely with retailers to ingest their product catalog feeds onto the service. So we've now done this with many, many, many different retailers. Over the past 18 months, we've really kind of cleaned up the service such that we now have over 500 million products on Pinterest. And by way of pinging these feeds 1-2 times a day, we can verify that we have over 100 million in-stock products to be purchased or shopped on Pinterest today. So you could think of us as a 100 million SKU catalog. But for every single like scene image or just product that you see, what we want to be able to do is service to you like exact or similar products in a very seamless way, be it searching in the pin, using Lens, just how we are presenting content to you proactively. In this case, in a products like this, like related product inventory surface area, the catalogs is really what underlies. It is the infrastructure that brings this to life. One of the last things I wanted to show is just a sample flow of like a manifestation of what could inspired shopping look like. And this will start with a simple text query up top. And you'll see that this user is, checking out this pin. Perhaps it's the jacket that caught this individual's eye. Now I'm looking at another jacket. It's similar, but it's not exact. That's then sparking an interest around like, no, like actually I want to buy this jean jacket right now from Levi's. So you can see like how we're weaving around. What we want to then do is give you more ideas and keep this inspired shopping experience going. Maybe you just want to see pins that are in stock right now that you could buy right now. You see a pair of shoes, so I go from jackets to shoes and I'm off to Rothy's, and I might be purchasing these right now. When you come back to your home feed, we also know you're interested in home decor. So how do we seamlessly give, like in this case, like another sub-vertical within retail, in this case home decor, like experiences for you to just continue this inspired shopping journey. This is a very typical use case. Like people are coming in with many different interests concurrently, and it is our job to have the technology to surface the content the right way and just give this like shoppable experience to all of our users, whether they're interested in food, beauty, fashion, home, travel, tattoos. You'd be surprised at how many people pin tattoos on the service. But the point is like inspire them, but continue this shopping journey. Last couple of thoughts here. This inspired shopping strategy is driving growth. Neustar came out with a white paper at the end of July. We actually have a blog post about this on our Pinterest.business blog. And basically what Neustar is saying is they went out and surveyed a handful of retailers. And interestingly, we drove the highest level of top-line return on ad spend versus social. We were 2x that of traditional social competing platforms. We were actually 1.3x that of traditional search. So like this inspired shopping strategy is driving top-line sales for partners. But arguably what I think is even more impactful is the incremental sales that they are attributing to Pinterest. We have the highest volume of incremental sales than any other digital platform. And Neustar is saying that we drive 25% incremental sales. Again, sales that otherwise would not have been had you not been on Pinterest, or again, for the set of retailers that were in this cohort. So we're glad to see that this is driving growth. But again, this problem statement is just getting going. We really have only been investing while the company itself is nearly 10 years old, we've only had a concerted effort against this inspired shopping strategy for the last 12 to 18 months. We're just getting going on the technology that we're building, as well as like how we're surfacing the right content and the right experience. We got a long way to go, but we're excited about where we are. And my parting thought is, as we're meeting with partners every single day, they are pushing us to think about the return that we drive on their investment. Expect us to be pushing as well to not just meet and exceed those needs, but to challenge them on, what is the return on inspiration that they are driving for our shared customers on the service. So with that, thanks very much for listening to me, and thanks for having me.
Are there any questions? Okay, full disclosure. I downloaded Pinterest, and I went down a rabbit hole. No, I have a new college lacrosse player, and I was looking for some inspirational stuff for his dorm
Good.
room, and lo and behold, it's all on Pinterest. So, thank you.
Well, certainly. Thank you very much for having me.
Any questions? No, we're out of. I see one quick.
Consideration, I guess. You said shopping, right? And I've used Pinterest for a while, and just browsing, so to speak, or whatever. It's not shopping. You're really browsing. And the thing is, what's interesting about it is that it doesn't pull out the light, and you don't feel like you're buying anything. You feel like you're just doing what you want to do.
That's right.
And so the user experience and the upgrades over the last 18 months have really made a huge difference.
Oh, great.
So this is where you get non-friction customer experience, because it's something you want to do, and it's like a byproduct of getting what you want. And the shopping and the exchange is just non-existent. It's almost like an Uber in that sense, where it's not about the payment, it's about the ride, and it's about getting what you want.
Yeah. Thank you for that comment. I would agree in that the tax you may see on other digital platforms to enable a transaction doesn't exist on Pinterest, nor should it, because the pin is the product, and it's the product that's relevant, that someone is browsing, that might be ready to buy now, might be ready to buy months from now, but how do we create that frictionless experience?
All right. Well, please join me in
Okay.
thanking Bill for
Thanks,
really
Josh, very
fascinating
much.
discussion.